If you would just allow me to be infringement on you today, just for a moment, and I promise I'm gonna be out of your way. I wanted to share Psalms 23 because I think there may be perspective there that's overlooked that I think may be use for you in your life. Psalms 23 starts off with the Lord is my shepherd. I start off there because I want to let you know that David finds himself, I think, in a compromising position. I'm sure you've been in compromising situations, compromising positions once, twice, or three times at least in your life. You ever come to a place where God, I know that you led me here, but sometimes I feel like you're not leading me away from here. I'm stuck here. That David finds himself anointed to be king. All right, you'll catch that he's anointed to be king from the shepherd yard, from the sheep's pen. That David's anointed at home before he ever comes to the place of taking the throne. God anointed him. And I need you to know on today that the validity of Psalms 23 is this, is that you were anointed before you came here. That's why you can come and talk about anything around everybody, because you were anointed before you came here. See, you didn't need people to affirm you. You didn't need people to confirm you. You didn't need people to celebrate you. You were anointed, my God, before you came here. And David says, I was anointed to be king, but it was heavy on me. And I've only come to tell somebody, I know it's heavier. I know it's bigger. I know it's greater what God has placed on you. But you can't give up and die under the weight of worry, thinking that people who are less anointed, less gifted, that God has removed this calling from them, are able to kill you. Let me tell you, if you were supposed to die, you'd have died already. If you were supposed to be defeated, you would have been defeated before you came here. If you weren't supposed to see it, then you would not be looking at it before you come to look at it. I know he stands in front of a bad situation, David does, and he finds himself running from King Saul. Now God removed the anointing from off of one man and put it on the next man, and catch this, the man who's anointed is running because he's scared of somebody who's not anointed. And I need you to know on today that your anointing covers you, not to run from it, but so that you can face it. I don't know who that's good for on the day. You're not anointed to run from it. You're anointed to face it. You better stop ignoring them folk phone calls. You are anointed to face it. You better stop ignoring them folk calls, them texts. You better stop ignoring the school classes. You better stop ignoring applying for the job. You got to stop ignoring what is gifted, graced over you, thinking that there's people who are going to outshine you because they are more anointed. He says, there's people who are less anointed that scare you, David, and you're anointed for this. He finds himself running. He does. David does. He finds himself running. Watch this now. He finds himself running from somebody who lost it. David has it, but don't know what to do with it. And I've come today to tell somebody, I know you don't know what to do with it, but you're still anointed. That's why you cannot be educated and still take it. That's why you cannot have the training for it and still get hired and be paid more than what they could ever imagine that person in your position would. That's why you can come here and still thrive and survive and maintain and hold your own, because you were anointed for this. Don't let nobody come and tell you what you're not anointed for. You're anointed for this. That's what it say. This is, I'm anointed from my head, because God was holding me from way back behind. But when we come to the point in the text, we come to the point in the verse, Well, right before he starts writing, notice David is running. You hear that? That David is running because he's afraid that everything that's calling me, God is bigger than me. Everything that God placed on me for me to do in this season, God is greater than me. Every place where I'm called to be fulfilled, God, it frightens me. It scares me. Every time I try and do what's right, every time I try and stay away from what's wrong, every time I try and do something on my own, God is bigger than me. David said, Saul scares me. And it drives him into a cave. Catch this now. It drives him into a cave. And I think out of frustration, I think out of anger, I think out of being upset, I think out of whatever it is that you're afraid of, David musters those energy, that emotion. He musters it. And watch this. In my head, David grabs two pieces of stone. David grabs two pieces of stone and starts beating them against the wall. And I've only come on the day to tell somebody, I know you're frustrated. Sometimes you just got to work it out. You got to work it out and say, God, I know that I'm frustrated, but I'm not going to sin and cuss them folk out. I'm going to just pray my way out. I'm going to, God, beat down heaven's door until you open it for me. I'm going to find a way, God, to get my prayer through, to get my breakthrough, to get my answer to. I'm finding a way today. God, I may not be working out for me. It may seem like it's working against me. David said, I'll take the stone. I'm going to make something out of it. In my head, in my mind, I see him beating the stone against the wall. God, I can't take no more. That's what I see. I see him taking the stone from the cave that he's running from Saul and hiding in, taking it, beating it against the wall. God, I'm frustrated that every time I come to a place of trying to get it, somebody's trying to take it. So he's beating it against the wall. So I'm tired of people who were supposed to be training me, touching on me. I'm tired of folk who are supposed to be treating me right, playing me bad. I'm tired of running from it. And David starts beating the stone against the wall. And I know you ain't read it because it ain't in there. This is my interpretation. It says that he wrote it, but this is a time that there's no paper. David ain't got no pencil. I think he carves it out of the stone that he's frustrated from. He then carves out a chisel and a pencil from the stone and starts writing, I think with tears running down his eyes, the Lord. You ever been in that place? God, I'm so frustrated, I don't even know what to do. That all you can do is pray about it. You ever had somebody upset you so bad, you can't do nothing but pray? You've been so pissed off, so upset, so emotionally unenthused. God, I can't do nothing but pray. The Lord is my shepherd. You got to know when people left you, that the shepherd protected you. When folk walked away from you, the shepherd protected you. When God was only on your side and you thought that maybe I needed friends next to me, I needed to have family connected to me, I needed all these other folk to solidify or to confirm or to affirm for me, God says, I need you to know I am your shepherd. It is now. I think with tears running down his eyes, he's frustrated, he's mad, he's upset, and he's afraid. He says, I don't need nothing else. That's how the verse go in the KJV version. It says, the Lord is my shepherd. That's King James, not King James. I shall not want. I got everything as long as I've got God. I've only come on a day to tell somebody, as long as you got God, you've got it. You may not drive it right now, but as long as you've got God, you've got it. You may not wear it right now. You may not possess it. Your kids may not go to the school of it. You may not live in it, but as long as you've got God, let me tell you, baby, you've got it. David says, I know God is my shepherd. So I've never seen the righteous forsaken. I've never seen his seed begging for bread. You may not eat what you want to eat, but as long as you can sit at the table with your kids and have food on the table, the Lord is my shepherd. He says he leadeth me and guideth me. Catch this now. The bad thing about being in the cave as David is he said the Lord was my shepherd. You didn't catch why that's bad? Because a lot of the times the shepherd is only seen when the sheep runs away. You ain't been a sheep in it today. I know what it's like to be a sheep and run away from the 90 and 9. Not because I'm so brave and so bad, but because I find myself wondering to find God only to be broken by his hands. Catch that? If you read it, you'll find out that anytime a shepherd chases after a sheep, when he catches it, he breaks his legs. He puts him over his shoulder and carries him back to the 90 and 9. It's crazy that God will bless you just to break you. He says, Jay, it says David, he says, whoever you are in the room on the day, know that you were running in the wrong direction. That's why I had to stop you and let them hurt you. That's why I had to stop you and let you not self-destruct on you. That's why I had to break you so you would not taint your destiny of greater. That's why I broke you so I could bless you. You got to know I'm broken, but God only broke me to bless me. David says, I'm frustrated. So I'm broken, but his rod and his staff protects me, leadeth me, guides me. Now I noticed there, I got one more point and I promise I'm done. I noticed there that he didn't say just the rod. He didn't say just the staff. He said the rod and the staff. Now catch that now. One of them is like a crutch. The other one is like a walking stick. God, when I feel like I don't know my way, can you be the rod and lead me and guide me today? God, when I feel like I've depended on the wrong people and I'm about to fall over in it, can you be a crutch and support me today? He's not only my right away, he is my stand up right on today. God will support you as he leads you. He'll support you as he guides you, as he supports you. And I know that he's a rod and a staff, not just hurting you, but God is helping you. My last point, I promise you I'm done. He says, know that even though I sat at the table with family, God was only exposing the enemies. That's what was it? He says, I know I sat with them and they ate from me, and nobody gave value to what God put in front of me to feed people who hated me. That's all I wanted to tell you. Sometimes you gotta not even make mention of who the enemy is. Just know it in your mind. Know it. I know that I wouldn't sit with them, so I must be sitting with people who are close enough to hurt me, because they're sitting at the table with me. Note it. I note that for next time to not let you do that. I note that for next time not to give you that. I know that for next time not to trust you with something so valuable, because it's not always the devil at your table. Sometimes it's daddy now. Sometimes it's cousin now. Sometimes it's bae now. He says that's who I sit at the table, and I don't sit with no enemies. Says, but listen, even though they were at my table and I was frustrated, catch it now. He says, he anoints my head with what? Oil. Yes. Oil. You are anointed from your head So much so that it drops to your foot. It don't matter where they thought you was last. God says, I've anointed you to be first, so much so that every place you walk in, you walking into a season where I don't just walk in it, but I'm owning it. I don't just live here, but I bought it. I don't just rent it and drive it. God, I can sign for it too. I don't need nobody co-sign for me. I was anointed for this. I had to turn around because I went too far the wrong direction. But I was anointed from the time I left the city to the time I came into the country. I was anointed when I walked into the house to the time I walked out of the house. I was anointed on the job, not to just come here and be employed here, but I was anointed to come and to hire here, anointed to come and be promoted here, anointed for the raise here. I was anointed from my head. That's all I wanted to tell you. You may be running, but you better start writing. You better write your way out of that dark situation. The Lord is going to lead me out of here. You better write your way out of a wrong place. I know God is going to make everything all right. You better write your way out of a dark cave on the day and say, I know if God is with me, it's Him who leads me. It's Him who guides me. Sometimes you find yourself running. I hear you, David. Run on. But don't forget to write your run out. God is your shepherd. I know one thing on the day. He will bring you out. That's all I wanted to share. God bless you today.